Coming up on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime, Saturday night, Kentucky travels to Athens, and Mark Stoops isn't happy.
Things aren't easy all the time. You know, you got to put your head down and go to work and grind away. And, you know, I know our fan base and people get upset with that. I get upset, believe me.
Cumberland's host Georgetown. A loss means no postseason for the Patriots. And could Union, the Bulldogs, get their first win of the season? Plus, EKU looks to bounce back from a loss while Morehead State tries to knock off the #1 team in the Pioneer Football League. All that and more coming up next on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Are you ready?
Fake it. Allen takes it, dives, and he is in. The two-point conversion. Arkansas wins it in overtime.
We're ready. Let's start the show. Welcome into the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. I am Jamie McCracken alongside Lauren Cash, who will be off next week, so I got to enjoy this while I can.
Yeah, I got to be in a wedding next week.
Oh,
a lot coming up on the show, including Morehead State, UVA Wise, Cumberland's Union, and EKU, and that's just the football side of it.
Yeah, you know, we also have some basketball to get to, but we start with the 4-4 football Cats in Athens today to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Kentucky has only won 4 games at Georgia since 1956. Let's go down to Athens and see what they would do today.
To the Peach State.
A lot of chaos at Georgia going on and going into this one, I should say. A lot of chaos. Head coach Mark Richt using his Twitter earlier this week to say Jeremy Pruitt is still our defensive coordinator. No worries, Mark. Your team fumbled the football, picked it up, and still scored today. Terry Godwin takes the direct snap, 28 yards for the score, 10-3 Georgia at the half. Let's go third quarter. Sony Michel. He takes the toss, he rocks the #1, and all he needed was 1 yard for the score. 17-3, Dogs lead. Georgia rushed the ball for a season-high 300 yards. This time, they're passing the football, though. Keith Marshall keeps his balance, does a little yoga pose.
That's stiff arm, though.
Yeah, gets the ball across the pylon. Hey! The Georgia Bulldog really loved
Jamie
it.
was dancing, in case anybody was wondering.
For real. It was 24-3 at that point. And Patrick Tullis, he was a mess again today. 8 of 21 for 96 yards, 2 interceptions. Both those interceptions going to Dominique Sanders. Go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. Georgia allows just 180 total yards of offense. Kentucky drops below 500 for the first time this season, and the losing streak grows to 4. Georgia wins 27-3.
Do you have to start thinking about changes to quarterback?
You do got to look at some options. Yeah, you do. You have to. In fairness to our team, I think you have to look at everybody, and I always say that about all positions. You've seen us change the depth chart at a lot of positions, all the way through the season on who's playing well, and I think it's fair to say that we have to look at the quarterback position, yeah.
Uh-oh, can we see Drew Barker next week?
That's the question.
Could we? All right, up next, Lauren. Kentucky, they head to Nashville.
Yeah, the Vanderbilt Commodores gave Florida all they could handle in the swamp. Those highlights later on in the show, but nonetheless, the tough matchup for the struggling Wildcats next Saturday. Game time set for 4 o'clock Eastern time, and you can watch it on the SEC Network. Again, Kentucky drops to 4-5 on the season after a 4-1 start.
It's unbelievable. It's kind of reminiscent of what happened last year. They started 5-1 and then lost the last 6. I mean, they got Vanderbilt, they got Charlotte, and of course they got Louisville. Louisville's going to be bowl eligible before Kentucky gets bowl eligible. Remember all the tweets? 0-3, 3-0. Louisville was 0-3 to start the season. Kentucky 3-0. Looks complete opposite now. Your Cardinals might make a bowl game.
Continuing on with the show, Kentucky may have lost, but not everybody lost today.
That's right. Union won its first game of the season. Yay, Bulldogs. Highlights from 3 and those guys, and a big Mid-South East Division showdown in Williamsburg. Welcome back. The 20th ranked Cumberland's Patriots welcome in the Georgetown Tigers this afternoon in Williamsburg, both undefeated in Mid-South East Division play.
Yeah, Josh McKinney was at the game and has the highlights from the showdown of the unbeatens. Josh?
We put Josh in the show?
Yeah.
Well, Lauren and Jamie, what a bounce-back season it has been for the Cumberland's Patriots. 3-7 1 year ago. This year, 7-2 entering today and ranked 20th in the country. Number 20 Cumberland's looking to clinch a conference title and postseason bid, hosting rival Georgetown. Tigers leading 23-6 in the third and driving. The Johnson Central product, J.J. Jude, 29-yard run down inside the Patriots' 10, setting up a 1st and goal. Later in the drive on 4th and goal, Zach Harris stuffed by another former Golden Eagle, Jimmy Preston. Turnover on downs. Cumberland's facing a 3rd and long, and it goes with the QB draw. Adam Craig rumbles 54 yards down to the Georgetown 34. He just needed 17. 1st down, Cumberland. 3 plays later, Craig going to the air finds Weston Hayes wide open. 30 yards, Patriots trail 23-13 to the 4th. Tigers QB Ozzie Mann hits Trey Johnson on the screen, and Johnson's not going to be touched. 46 yards down the sideline, 30-13 Georgetown, 8.5 to play. UC trying to keep up. Craig to Hayes, but Kent Gaines strips the ball loose. Georgetown recovers. As we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, a disappointing end to what was otherwise a really good year for Cumberland's. The Patriots fall 30-13, bringing an end to their season. Head coach Matt Reimer blaming himself for the loss after the game.
Just penalties for us. We had way entirely too many penalties, and that's a lack of discipline, and I take that upon myself. These guys are fighters, they're competitors. We've got a great football team. I thought we were prepared all week. We were focused. I thought we were focused before the game. We got off early there and had a couple mistakes with some penalties that put us behind the chains, and I thought that really hurt us.
Down in Barberville, 6 seniors celebrating Senior Day as the Union Bulldogs welcome in Bluefield. But it would be a junior that would have the big day. Quarterback Chandler Whittlesey opening drive for the Dogs. 4th and 3. Whittlesey scrambles around the left side, picks up 17 down to the Bluefield 28-yard line. 7 plays later on the 1. Whittlesey punches it in on the QB sneak. Union goes up 7-0. Rams driving now. Adrian Pope follows a 19-yard run with a run of 15 yards. Bluefield near midfield in just 2 plays. But on the next play, they fumble the handoff, recovered by Union's Deshae Averhart. And on the ensuing drive, Whittlesey connects with senior DJ Reynolds, a gain of 12 on 1st down for another 1st down. Now inside the 5, Whittlesey calls his own number again, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the quarter. He would add 2 passing touchdowns as well, accounting for all 4 offensive scores for Union. The Bulldogs did win number 1 on the season, guys, 35-18 over the Bluefield Rams.
All right, good job, Josh. You had 6 seniors in your highlight. I have 19 seniors.
Oh, that's a lot.
Morehead State Eagles hosting undefeated Dayton in a battle for first place in the PFL. Morehead State starting strong. That's Austin Gehafer hits Tanner Napier for a 29-yard touchdown pass. He got the dance going. He got moved. Maybe we should bring him on to Sports Overtime Saturday night. More from the head. Brent Holman breaks free, and he gone. 32 to the house, 15-7. Morehead State leads, but turnovers would kill the headshot at an upset. Gehafer picked off in the end zone by Danny Leach, one of 3 interceptions on the day, 2 coming in the end zone, and the Flyers cash in late. Jack Adams, the go-ahead 2-yard touchdown, and that would be the game winner. Eagles had their chances, but drop a heartbreaker today, 20-15 to Dayton.
Emotional Senior Day in Richmond, a flyover to honor Officer Daniel Ellis, who died earlier this week. Flags flying half-staff also in Richmond as EKU and UT Martin set to battle it out. First play from scrimmage, Jared Neal's pass is intercepted by Stanley Abinson. That would lead to a Colonel touchdown. EKU leads 7-0 early. Still first quarter, same score. Colonel defense picked off Neal again. EKU driving. Benny Coney on the QB keeper, but he coughs it up and gives it right back to the Skyhawks. We're tied at 7 now. Coney hits Deshaun Mobley over the middle for the big game. Mobley, though, just had 14 carries on 48 total yards on the ground. First play of the second quarter, Coney to Contavious Hopkins, gets around the corner. That ref in my way. Outrun gets around the corner. Skyhawk defense blows right by him. 14-7 Colonel's lead, but we go to the scoreboard, and UT Martin pulls out the road victory against EKU. 42-35. Colonels dropped to 5-4 on the year and 4-2 in the OVC.
I graduated from Robert C. Byrd High School up in West Virginia. This guy did too. George Shell, the Wesleyan Bobcats hosting UVA-Wise. First quarter, no score. Cavs with the ball, not anymore though. Caleb Basden with the pick, and of course that's going to turn into points. Luke Casey to Zach Shademan. Beautiful. 6-0 Bobcats over Wise. Second quarter, Casey to Shademan again. That's a 13-yard strike. Wesleyan goes up 13-0, and then later, Casey, he going deep again. It's Jamal Merrick. I mean, all these guys are like wide open. 38 yards for the score there. It's 20-0 at that point. Casey goes 23 of 39 for 317 yards and 5 touchdowns. Go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. The Bobcats get a senior day win over the Cavs, 47-21. Wise scores all of its points in the second half.
Looking back at the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, U-Pike goes on the road.
They won.
Yeah.
40-21.
40-11. Second win in a row for the U-Pike Bears. There we go. 40-11 on the road. Nice job to snap a 4-game losing streak last week. Come back and win 2 in a row now. Coming up next, more football. We look at some SEC games, including Kentucky's next opponent, Vanderbilt.
And later, Dudley Hilton, Papa Bear, of course, returns to the mountains. We caught up with him last night before his Taylor County Cardinals faced off the Knox Central Panthers.
Kentucky's next opponent, the Vanderbilt Commodores, traveled down to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium yesterday. It's late. Yeah. I don't know.
A win for Florida seals the deal on the East Division title. Let's do some highlights. Vandy trying to spoil Florida's hopes for an SEC East Division title down in the swamp. First quarter, Kelvin Taylor. Guy's been pretty good this year. Now the Gators up 6-0. Under a minute to play now in the first half. Ralph Webb. He goes straight up the gut, and he's untouched. Wait a minute. Vanderbilt's hanging with Florida? For real?
In Florida.
For real? In the
real.
swamp? That was a 74-yard touchdown run in the swamp. 7-6 Vandy leads. That would stay until the fourth quarter. Under 2.5 minutes to play. Austin Harden connects. Of course he does. It's his home turf. 43-yard touchdown. Leaves Florida the 9-7 lead. And, well, that's your final. A barn burner in the swamp. Somebody had to win the East, of course. Take a look at the scoreboard. Yeah, the Gators win by 2, 9-7.
Barn burner is right. Well, you know it's a wild game when we go right to the fourth quarter. 3 seconds left, game tied, and Ole Miss blocks the Arkansas field goal. We go to overtime, tied up at 45. We're starting in the fourth quarter, Jamie. Keep that in mind.
I know.
Rebels up first in overtime. Chad Kelly runs it in from 8 yards out. His third rushing touchdown on the night. Extra point good. Ole Miss up a touchdown. All right. This is where it gets weird. 4th and 25 for Arkansas. Brandon Allen
on the show?
Connects with Hunter Henry. Henry well short of the first down, but watch this lateral thing that keeps the ball alive. Tip, tap, recovered by Alex Collins, who runs it down to the 11-yard line for the first down.
First down on 4th and 25.
Correct, first down. All right. Brandon Allen, Drew Morgan, that's touchdown. Arkansas is going to go for 1, right, for the tie?
Nah, it's Frank Bielema.
Yeah. Let's call his own number here. Brandon Allen calls his own number for the 2-point conversion in Arkansas. An unbelievable turn of events down in Mississippi. I feel like the SEC West is way more fun than the East, Jamie.
But let's be honest, that takes some guts.
Yeah, 52-51 Arkansas over Ole Miss.
Yikes. Big-time college football playoff implications on the line tonight. Bryant-Denny Stadium. Number 4, Alabama. Of course, my man Nick Saban from Fairmont, West Virginia, hosting number 2 LSU. Second quarter, Derrick Henry. You know LSU's got Leonard Fournette, but Bama's got Henry. It's 10-0. Later in the same quarter, it's Trayvon Durrell, 40-yard touchdown pass. But Alabama wins this game tonight, 30-16.
All right, let's look at the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. Some other SEC scores. A Thursday final, Mississippi State beats Missouri 31-13, and Auburn goes into Texas A&M 26-10 the final.
Let's stay on the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. Tennessee defeats South Carolina 27-24. Here we go. Kyle Bolin getting the start over Lamar Jackson, who is still dealing with a bad ankle. We get Louisville-Syracuse today. Immediately, Bolin makes an impact. Hooks up with L.J. Scott.
Is he down? Nah.
This is like the second play from scrimmage, too. 52 yards for Scott down to the 15-yard line. That would later set up this 4-yard touchdown run by Jeremy Smith to make it a 7-0 game. Now the Cardinals, they're going for that 5th win. One more gets them to a bowl later in the second quarter. Cards down 3. Not anymore. Tremaine Washington with the pick 6. 39 yards to the house 14-10 lead for Louisville. The tight end getting all kinds of love in this one from Bolin. Bolin got the start against Kentucky last year, if you remember, and Louisville takes care of business at home. They win 41-17 over Syracuse. Cards improved to 5-4 on the season.
All right, it's homecoming at WKU. Tops taking on Florida Atlantic. Wish I could be there. First quarter, Owls strike first. Jaquez Johnson to Jensen Stoshak for the score, 7-0 FAU. Second quarter now, though, Tops answer. Brandon Dowdy to Tywan Taylor. Do you think you can really just drag this guy down by the hand? Okay, yeah. Taylor becomes the school's all-time single-season leader for touchdown receptions, tied up at 7. 10-7 Tops trailing. Dowdy does what he does best. Play action down the field to his favorite receiver, Taylor. That shoestring grab, if that's a thing. Fingertips right there. 21-10 WKU. Still in the third quarter, Dowdy to Tim Gorski, and he plunges into the end zone for his first touchdown of the season. 21-10 Tops, and the Hilltoppers roll. They improved to 8-2 on the year. 35-19. WKU gets the win on homecoming. Staying on the scoreboard, triple overtime game down in Tennessee. MTSU blocked the game-tying field goal in the third overtime. MTSU beats Marshall 27-24. WKU now the sole person on top in the Conference USA.
I know you're happy about that. I also
I'm very
know
happy
you wish
with
you
that.
were on the hill for homecoming.
Yes, I do wish I was on the hill for homecoming.
You'll be home next week, won't you?
It's not homecoming.
Well, hey, by the way, is your grandpa coming to
Yeah,
that?
Dudley Hilton.
Is that, yeah.
He's my favorite.
Dudley Hilton. Yeah, he was back in the mountains last night in his second season with the Taylor County Cardinals.
Yeah, and yesterday for the second straight year, Coach Hilton and the Cardinals traveling to Knox Central in the first round of the high school football playoffs. The Panthers defeated Taylor County 35-7, but for Coach Hilton, the mountains have been good to him, winning state titles with Bell County, Breathitt County, and Bourbon County. He always enjoys making the trip back to Eastern Kentucky.
You know, I've had some great teams, and I love at Bell County and Breathitt County and Bourbon County when I was at those schools, and University of Pikeville. But going to Taylor County is a little different, just paying back. But I still love doing what I'm doing and still having a good time.
Oh, Papa Dale.
Oh, yes. Next on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night, the first round of the high school football playoffs is in the books.
That's right. 18 coverage area team still alive, though, will cap off yesterday's action in the 2-minute drill. First round of the playoffs are over, and there were not many close games last night across the coverage area. Let's be honest, first round, not much of a thing. Next week, teams will play for the right to play for a region championship. Let's take a look back at week 11 of the high school football season in tonight's least famous recipe, Hazard and Whitesburg. 2-minute drill. The first round of the high school football playoffs are complete. 36 coverage area teams are now down to 18. Let's start in Class 1A. Pineville got a second chance at Hazard after losing to the Bulldogs in the first game of the season, but the Dogs didn't allow much from the Mountain Lions. Hazard moves on with a 41-6 win. They'll take on Harlan in our game of the week next week. And the winner of that game could face Pikeville in the next round. The Panthers open the postseason with a 68-8 win over Linkamp and move on to play Williamsburg. Paintsville goes to 11-0 with the win over Bracken County. Most of the starters didn't even play in the second half. Tigers get Raceland in the second round. In Class 2A, the 0-10 Never Again motto turned out to work for Somerset this season, but the Briar Jumpers finished 6-5 after a loss to Leslie County. A trip to Danville is next for the Eagles. LCA and Prestonsburg played one of the more competitive first-round games, but the Black Cats lose 34-13. No bigger blowout than Belfry-Bath County in Class 3A. The Pirates ran just one offensive play for the first 21 points they put on the scoreboard. A couple of pick sixes, and it's over quick. Belfry drains the bath, and the two-time defending state champs host Russell next week. The team Pike Central lost to. The Hawks end the season with 4 straight losses. Also in Class 3A, Bell County moves on, beating Estill County by 33, and Corbin gets by Knott Central. In Class 4A, Johnson Central rebounds from a 41-0 loss to Belfry with a 41-0 win over Holmes in round 1. And Papa Dud made his way back to the mountains, but his Taylor County Cardinals fall to Knox Central 35-7. Rockcastle is still alive after a round 1 win. The Rockets now have to go to Wayne County, a place they lost at by 8 earlier in the year. And finally, in Class 5A, Harlan County allowed Lincoln County to leave Baxter alive. The Black Bears dropped their last 2 of the year and are eliminated. 18 Mountain teams left. Round 2. See you Friday. This has been the Lee's Famous Recipe. Hazard and Whitesboro 2-minute drill. All right, Lauren, what time is it?
Big game board time.
Big game board time. Half of this big game board is Class 1A matchups because I thought they were looking good. We look forward to next week because that's where they are. At least Paintsville takes on Raceland for a second time this season. The Tigers beat them for the first time since 2004 earlier in the regular season. Now the Tigers will have to beat them again to advance, stay undefeated, and play in the region final. Hazard goes to Harlan. That'll be live on this TV and WYMT.com, part of our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week. The 2-time runner-up Class 1A Williamsburg Yellow Jackets go to Pikeville. Good 3A second-round game to watch for. Powell County goes to Bell County. The Pirates have won 8 straight games since losing their first 3. And then what I think is the best game on this board is number 6 Southwestern at number 5 North Laurel. The winner probably going to get Pulaski County, a couple of Mountain top 10 teams that used to play each other because, of course, they were in the same district. They're not anymore. But we get the matchup in the second round. Get ready for some defense in that one. Also in Class 5A, the number 1 team of the Mountains, Pulaski County, hosts Lincoln County in round 2. Lots to look forward to.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, even though you won't be here.
I know.
I'll be at the Kentucky basketball game. I'll be on Twitter. All right, coming up next on the show, we look back at Bell County's 2008 state championship run.
Yeah, and then how about a little college basketball? We start with the Alice Lloyd women, see how the 1-0 Lady Eagles would do as they welcome in IU Southeast.
Welcome back. 7 years ago, the 10-0 Bell County Bobcats began their journey through the playoffs.
Yeah, in the first and second rounds, they took care of business easily against Lawrence County and Rockcastle County, but their last 3 games were won by 5 points or less.
And that Bell County team, of course, led by Dudley Hilton, completed the perfect season 15-0 record.
Yes, capped off by a Class 4A state championship. That's in tonight's Sports Overtime Rewind. The 2008 Bell County Bobcats strolled into the postseason with a 10-0 record, averaged 48 points per game on offense, and in those 10 games, the defense pitched 7 shutouts. Bell rolled through winless Lawrence County in the first round and a solid Rockcastle County team in the second round. The final 3 games of Bell County's season is when it gets interesting.
The first time Bell County and Knox Central met, it was a 21-0 final, but it was closer than that score even indicated. The game swung in the first half on a fake punt and a fumble on the goal line. Since that game, the Panthers have won 8 of 9 and have momentum on their side. But remember, it's always colder on top of Log Mountain, especially in the playoffs.
Always colder on Log Mountain is right. The Bobcats jumped out to a 10-0 lead on the Panthers, but Knox Central fought back in the second half and took a 14-13 lead. That was the first time all season Bell County trailed in a game, and we're in the second half of the region final. Under 5 minutes to go, a big gain for Matt Rains helped seal the deal with a touchdown for Bell County. They edged out Knox Central 19-14. Up next for the number 1 team in the Mountains was a team all too familiar with the state turf.
The only time Bell County made it to the state title game was in 1991 when the Bobcats claimed the title over Meade County. Meade was led by Larry French in 1991. Tonight the Bobcats faced Boyle County, led by Larry French. It's deja vu all over again. The Bobcats and their fans are ready for this game on Log Mountain, and it was cold. Trust me, I was there. Coach Hilton telling Shante Zachary, we're going to throw it. Zachary says, okay. Connects with Adam Overbay for a first down. Bobcats on the move. Bell County's defense wouldn't be denied, though. Matt Simpson comes up with the interception and the touchdown return. 7-0 Bobcats. They are loving it up on Log Mountain. But we go to the scoreboard and check it out. Bell County did a really good job moving this ball through the air. And on the scoreboard, this one stayed a low-scoring game, but Bell County gets the win 17-15.
Bell County punched its ticket to Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, where they awaited the Bullitt East Chargers.
We go to the highlights. Bell County, Dominic Carton takes it straight up the middle for a big gain, but check it out. He'll get brought down at the 1-yard line. First and goal for the Cats. 4th and goal, Zachary back to pass, looking for Matt Simpson, but it's incomplete. Turnover on downs. Bullitt East up 7-0 at the break in the third. Chargers with the football. Matthew Bowles throws it deep, but Zachary's there for the interception. That would lead to a short touchdown run by Spencer Greer, and we are all tied up at 7. Greer Picks up the first down. It is 1st and goal for the Bobcats. Bell County fans a little nervous. It's 4th down and goal from the 9. Zachary with the jump pass to John Dudley Hilton for the touchdown. Extra point, no good. Bullitt East driving. Bowles back to pass. Hilton comes up with the interception, but Bell County could do nothing with it. So Bullitt East again with the football. Under a minute to play. Bowles lets it fly on 4th down. The ball is tipped and caught by Zach McCarthy at the 1. 4th and 1, 10 seconds left. McCarthy takes it in. The score is now 15-13. The entire season rides on this 2-point conversion. Bell County comes up with the stop. The Bobcats win their first state title since 1991.
Bell County reached the state semifinals the following 2 seasons, but nothing has since come close to the magic captured by Dudley Hilton in that 2008 team that reminded the Bobcat faithful what it's like to walk off the field as state champions.
That was a fun piece.
Yeah, now Jamie, that 2008 team scored 644 points over that season while only allowing 70. That averages out to 4.6 points per game.
We were talking about the dominance
How
during
about
that
that for
piece.
some defense?
Just killed it.
My
They literally
goodness.
annihilated everybody. And then a sensational way to actually win the state tournament, too, was stopping that 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
So-
sorry, Caleb. No, our fellow reporter was on that Bullitt
Yeah.
East team that lost in that state championship game. Oh
That was
well,
good,
memories.
All right, let's switch gears to basketball now.
Yes.
The Allenstown women's basketball team 1-0 to start the season. Lady Eagles playing their second game today, part of a 3-game stretch at home to open the year. Let's do it. Whitney Evans and the Lady Eagles hosting Indiana University Southeast. Feel so, girl. She gave me the crazy eyes there. All right, let's do it. First quarter, first bucket of the game. Evans running the point, feeds the post. She did that a lot at Perry Central when she was dishing it to Kayla Rankin. This time it goes to Taylor Arthur. She scores the bucket. Arthur with 9 points on the night. Later, India Harrison James for 3. All right, that's not good. Andrea Rankin gets the offensive board, and James comes over to the other side. She says, I like this side better. She had 7. Alice Lloyd down 12-8, though, but right before the end of the first quarter, it got ugly. I mean, IU Southeast was hitting Jays. Just a couple of threes to end the first quarter, and they take an 8-point lead into the first quarter. Of course, they're playing 4 quarters of basketball. There's not 2 halves anymore. They come out in the second quarter, and they keep shooting, they keep making. Now, Layden McKinney gets the turnaround shot to fall here. A whole lot of freshmen and sophomores on this team for Alice Lloyd as we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. Take a look at it. They fall for the first time this season. IU Southeast beats ALC 70-46. The Lady Eagles shoot just 21% from the field.
The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers played in an exhibition game on Friday night against Kentucky Wesleyan, the 16th ranked team in NCAA Division II. The Tops squeaked out a 75-68 win at Diddle Arena. Former Perry Central Commodore Justin Johnson added 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks to the win. WKU officially tips off their basketball season next Saturday against Campbellsville.
I mean, him was out there in the huddle talking guys through stuff because they were in situations they haven't been in. You know, we got a bunch of young guys, and I'm pretty sure in high school, you know, nobody got passing lanes like that right there. And just, you know, out there you try to keep them poised, keep them calm, and tell them to move on to the next play. A lot of times the young guys like that worry about what happened. You know, I think coach has been preaching on move on to the next play. You know, clap it off, move on to the next play.
All right, looking at a couple college basketball finals earlier today. The U-Pike women putting up triple digits on Ohio Lancaster, 115-39. Those poor Lady Cougars. And then, of course, the U-Pike men taking care of business against UC Claremont, 97-55. Their home winning streak up to 46 straight.
Still undefeated.
That is insane. Up next, lots of movement in the National Football League. Some coaches, some coordinators getting fired, and it's week 9. It hasn't even completely started yet.
That's right. We'll preview some of the games next, as well as name this week's Play of the Week. All right, it's time for our Play of the Week. Let's head back. Bowling Green.
Let's do it.
What'd you say?
Let's do it.
Brandon Dowdy to Taiwan Taylor. That's a money ball.
Fingertip snag right there.
Yes, let's take another look. Top still on top, 8-2 on the season.
Best team in the state. Best record in the state.
Record-wise, I
Can't
guess
deny
so.
that.
Brandon Dowdy to Taiwan Taylor. That's our Play of the Week. That was kind of special, I guess. We've had so much WKU on this show. Jeez whiz.
That's what you get when you hang out with me.
Yeah, a bit of a week, by the way, in the National Football League coming up.
Yeah, Bengals improved to 8-0 with the win Thursday over Cleveland, and the Tennessee Titans fire their head coach, Ken Wisenhunt. Interim head coach Mike Mularkey takes over the reins in Nashville for the Titans, and that means offensive coordinator of the Titans and Eastern Kentucky native Jason Michael gets to take over as the main play caller for the Titans offense. Michael says, yes, he's excited for the opportunity, but he doesn't like how it came about.
It's a situation you don't want to be in first. I mean, the way it goes about. You know, you never want this situation to happen. You know, when I have a lot of respect and feel greatly about Coach Wisenhunt, you know, in that deal. And I don't want it to be in this situation, but you know, the opportunity is here, and this is the role that I've been given, and you know, I'm excited about that part. You know, our role is to go win a football game, and that's what we're going to do as a staff, and that's what we've continued to try to do. Is prepare that way, and that's what we're doing this week. We've had a good week of practice, and with one goal in mind, and that's take Coach Mularkey's vision of what we're doing, and as a play caller, you know, call the game according to what he's looking for, to play complementary football with the defense and go get a win this weekend.
Hey, cool storyline, though, to look forward to for the Titans. The 7-0 Denver Broncos hit the road to Indianapolis this week to take on the Colts. The Broncos undefeated in league, partly due to the play of the defense. Peyton Manning hasn't been that great all year, really, finding ways to come up with points even when the Denver offense is struggling. That defense has been really tough. Quarterback Peyton Manning returns to his former home this weekend at Lucas Oil Stadium. He says it's not a big deal. It's just another game.
Well, you know, like I said, I can't really speak a whole lot to that beforehand, but I think the fact that we have been there and played them, there's not, you know, obviously we're focused on this game. We're playing in an extremely loud place. We got a lot on our plate each week, trying to kind of figure out what we're doing and trying to get everybody here on the same page, and that's plenty to focus on. Between that and getting ready to play a team that you know, in a loud environment, it's kind of easy just to focus on that.
The Colts, who the Broncos are playing this Sunday, have struggled mightily at times so far this season, just 3-5 on the year. Indy Brass laid a heavy hand on the offensive coordinator for the Colts this week, firing Pep Hamilton in the middle of the season. Quarterback Andrew Luck says it's unfortunate for it to happen, especially at this juncture of the season, but he expects the offense to move on and try to find a rhythm.
Yeah, it's obviously not ideal. And so yeah, it's tough, but you know, no one feels sorry for you in this league. You know, you find that out pretty quickly, and so it's on us as players to make sure we're all on the same page. You know, make sure we understand the plan the coaches have laid out for us, no matter who's in charge, in a sense of the offense, and go out and try to get a win. You know, that falls on us.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Next week, we got Kentucky Wildcats. Of course, they open their basketball season up. I'll be there on Friday. But before we go, and I know you got lines to say this, and we'll get to that, but we have our director standing at the door. Jesse, you've heard of him before. It's his last night in the show. He didn't direct tonight. He was actually helping Jonathan, who's going to be our new director. We got to have him come out because we want to say goodbye. He's violating the dress code policy with jeans, but we love him this much. We want to thank you so much, Jesse, for
He is the brain behind all of our crazy ideas that we bring to Sports Overtime. We're like, Jesse, can you do this? Jesse, can you do that? Jesse, can you put up Lauren in her Tinkerbell costume? And he's like, doop, got it.
Yeah, he's been very special. Seriously, Jesse, we'll miss you a lot, and you know that. We wouldn't do this unless, you know, we really cared about you. And all
well, I appreciate you guys a lot, and I really enjoyed this. And I'm really just, I can't believe you put me on the TV. They're going to be so mad.
He's moving to LEX. Of course, that's a rival station, but it's okay. We're very proud of you. And you know what? We're going to close out the show.
Are we going to hug it out?
We can hug it out. I mean, we got to have Jonathan crank up the music. Hopefully, you taught him how to do that.
I think I have.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll find out.
We'll see you next week. Second
have a good night. Yeah, a lot of stuff, but have a good night.
Okay. Hug it out.
Hug it out.
Hug it out. Hug it out. Oh!